We'll now move to agenda item number 6, which will be the first ordinary meeting of council. Mr. Brosnan, Helen? Oh, it's this too, sorry. Ms. Gilbert? Helen?
Your Worship, you need to adopt a couple of dates for council meetings so that we can advise the public that these meetings will be on, and so that you can also know what date to turn up. That's the primary purpose of this report. On the basis of some earlier conversations I've had with people, I'd like to suggest that the first ordinary meeting be scheduled for Tuesday, the 23rd of November in the afternoon from 1 o'clock. I also like to suggest that prior to that meeting we have council workshop on Tuesday the 9th, which will be primarily to address a whole raft of appointments and delegations, just to get you all onto the various other bodies that you'll be involved with for the rest of the term.
Yeah, if we just stop there and go back to this handout. Everybody's got a copy of this handout? Yeah. So the date you're mentioning here, Tuesday 2 November, induction for new councillors.
You don't need to formally adopt that one. It's a training session just for new councillors.
I'm just trying to FYI for your information, and that's for their information. So Tuesday, the 2nd November, induction for new councillors. Can you extrapolate on that? What do you do?
That's a one-day training course that we propose to run for new councillors. We'll be going into some more of the detail about the legislative background to your role as elected members, some of those sorts of things. Perhaps a little bit more detail on some of the planning functions of council and how different elements of the legislation work. Some stuff around looking at, say, the district plan.
Okay, if I could just take the team along one at a time. So, any questions on that? What will happen on Tuesday? Right.
I'm in your hands on this. We could...
Start time.
Okay, start time.
Let's go with 10 a.m.
Do you understand what's going to be happening on that day? Right, cool. Then could you move to the 4th and 5th? That's in Rotorua Local Government Conference. Have you asked who's going at this stage yet? Do you know?
No, but everybody was given information last week, and they're all required to contact Cheryl and let her know if they want to go to that.
It's a 2-day course?
It's actually 1.5 days, but yes.
Okay, so we'll be travelling over. Fine. And so when will we have those numbers in by?
I think we did spoke about it last week.
All organised?
I think so.
Okay, cool. Move on to Tuesday 9th of November Council Workshop. What will that workshop be workshopping?
That's the workshop to address appointments and delegations. We would also use that to address the code of conduct. Those are the really 3 big issues for that council workshop. And also to talk about how we might serve you and work with you in the forthcoming year.
Okay, great. Councillor Mike?
Oh, sorry, I thought we were actually going to be doing some of that today, because I know the Rugby World Cup subcommittee, co-hosting committee, really needs to get together soon, and that's another 2 weeks away before that committee's formed again. So that's
I tend to think a little bit like you do, Mike. I would say, looking at the clock, this meeting is quite possibly going to be over by 2 o'clock. If people have got another hour and a half they could spare here, it would be probably nice to start workshopping these delegations and things, because we do have committees in limbo at the moment that need to get their direction. Is that possible, or?
If we're talking simply about discussing, that's absolutely fine. But we would need to bring it through to a council meeting with a formal resolution for it to be a
workshops are only discussions. They certainly don't make resolution. But yeah, it's a very good point. It's just been raised.
It's just, especially the Rugby World Cup. I mean, there's actually members on there that have been asking. It's been 6 weeks since the last one. And it's we've got the Christmas break coming up. There's not much time to thing there.
And we have been in communication with them.
So that being the case, shall we or shan't we have a small workshop at the end of this and start some of this journey?
Just been some talk about I've heard abolishing committees or having committees more project based. Some of them at least. Is there a suggested list of what the committees are going to be, or we could possibly get that before we actually workshop?
The plan roughly was that we would send you a package of information as preparation for the workshop, but actually the workshop is the place to kind of figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it. It's a much less formal setting, and
what seems to be going on here, Ms. Gilbert or Helen, whatever is appropriate at the moment. What appears to be going on here we are sitting on the 26th of October and we're planning a council workshop Tuesday 9th of November, and I think we all are all a little bit frustrated. That's a little bit long away. We really want to get those delegations and committee set up sort of put in stone so people can hit the ground and start running, i.e. this Rugby World Cup one.
We would still have to have a council meeting to make those appointments. Even if you determine what you would like to do at a workshop, you can't formally make those appointments until you're in a council meeting.
And we can have council meetings anytime we like, eh? They're called SPOs. And we've got one set down here for the 23rd of November, which is still a month away, isn't it? And then shortly after that we've got Christmas. So we have got a couple of minutes we can discuss this and try and maybe get it
One possibility is that we take the Tuesday the 9th of November and that we run the workshop from about 9 o'clock through to about 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30, and that then we take a council meeting specifically for those items.
Well, that would set it in stone then, wouldn't it, Councillor Barry?
Yeah, Merrick, I just wonder whether there's an opportunity to, I know we've got a big change of new councillors, but to change those two workshops around and have the code of conduct and the delegation on committees on the 2nd, and perhaps leave the induction to new councillors till the 9th. If it's important, I don't know, just a suggestion, perhaps.
Any feeling towards that?
The reason...
Well, through you, Mr. Mayor. One of the reasons it's been laid out the way it is because the old statement, it's better to run before you can better to walk before you run. We were conscious that we needed to get an awful lot of information over to particularly to new councillors in terms of the way the legislation operates about local government and about the way we have been and about the potential future. They're not decisions that can just be picked up and made overnight, so that's why we've sort of spaced it out the way we have, because of that deluge of information that is provided. But I mean, just as a thought, I think that suggestion of having a council meeting after that workshop on the 9th would probably be about the best way of having the attendance of Rotorua so that councillors are exposed to the local government information and then also had a brief introduction and induction in the council processes and protocols. Then that would actually serve the new councillors well in terms of being able to sort of be best placed to make those decisions on the 9th.
Okay, so how does that sit with everybody that we... Oh, sorry, Gary?
Yeah, well, it would work, wouldn't it, if we just had the workshop in the morning and a special council meeting in the afternoon just to address the committees that need urgency.
Just to ratify it, yeah. No, that's what's being suggested here, so... and if there's any other business that comes up that needs to be addressed in the meantime, put out a council agenda for that afternoon with some other things on it that may need to be done, and a special agenda item to fix the delegations and what have you.
So committees that we should look at now, so we can already start considering those sort of things?
You're going to be sent out a delegation booklet very shortly.
The urgency ones?
Yep. Oh, you could wait till the 9th, can't it?
Oh, yeah. My concern was it wasn't going to get ratified until the 23rd.
Well, it is now. Do you happen on the 9th? Yeah. But bearing in mind, we've only got one, have you, vacancy on Rugby World Cup because of the election?
All of your committees actually disappear once.
Yep.
So
okay.
in fact,
yep.
You've got to rebuild it. Yeah.
Right. So we're going to an SPO on Tuesday the 9th after the council workshop, where we'll be workshopping and building it for the afternoon and get it back on track. Wednesday the 10th, induction workshop for the new community board. Okay. Tuesday 16th, district tour. What did you have planned there, Helen?
Mr. Tahoe is preparing a tour of the district for all of councillors, partly to show you some of the really big expensive infrastructure that you are responsible for, and partly to give you some more information about some of the key features of the district, some of the particular features of some of the settlements. Proposal was to start in Taupo in the morning, go and have a look at some of the really major infrastructure here, then drive down this side of the lake down to Turangi and join with the community board there and go and look at things like the wastewater treatment plant there, which is apparently very wonderful. It's certainly improved the quality of the water down there. And so meet with the community board, because by that stage they'll be sworn in, and then in the afternoon come up on the western side of the lake and go and make a visit to the other really major settlement in this district at Mangakino, and then come back to the city, to the town late afternoon.
Okay. All right. Any questions on that, Tim? Kirsty?
If you're coming to Mangakino, I would like it to be a day.
The whole day?
A whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, part of the day, yeah, a whole day really, because I just think it's really important that you get a feel for our community, because it's very different, and I would like to be involved in the planning of that day, and I really want, I think, instead of just sitting in a bus and driving around, I'd like to get out and for our town to be able to meet the councillors, whom that doesn't often happen.
Well, okay, if we can make that a separate day from this, because this is just going to be an overview of the district, more of infrastructure issues, not just social issues, more infrastructure.
Yep.
And it is our intention, we had a workshop to every now and again shift our council meetings occasionally to Mangakino and occasionally to Turangi, and vacate this wonderful chambers here. So maybe at that time we could use a morning and then have our council meeting in the afternoon or something. But it is the intention of everyone around the table here from our workshop of getting out and about the community, and as I'm only repeating myself, but I think this particular day is also done with our strategic Maori liaison officer, Dylan Tauhau, and he'll be organising a lot of things that culturally sensitive as well, so we understand and move forward from then. So, yep, we do another, but if we could do another day, and I think link it with a council meeting and hold a council meeting over there for the interest of the people of Mangakino. That'd be right? Cool. So, moving to the 23rd, Council Workshop, Turangi and Southern Lakes. What's that acronym? Southern Structure Plan. Thank you. Okay, so for the new councillors that know, you obviously know through the media, we've been through the Commercial Industrial Structure Plan here in Taupo. And I apologise to everybody at the time. I don't actually say it was my fault, but I'll take the blame for it. I personally believe the whole district should have been done as one at that particular time. However, it wasn't. But we are now doing a Southern Structure Plan, and there's submissions and all that sort of thing are happening as we speak. So that day there will be a council workshop held in Turangi. Helen?
No, we propose that it be held here in council chambers, but that the community board come up and join you for the workshop.
You don't think it should be done the other way around?
In the end, decisions about district plan are decisions of council, and so the views of the community board are obviously extremely important. But as it is ultimately a decision of council, we thought it better, and also just there's more room, to have the decision making, but also just to have the discussion and the workshop presented here. Open to your advice on that.
Okay, Councillor Dano. Mike?
I don't know about the logistics, probably council frown, but I feel that we should be down there. This is the southern end of the lake.
Decision making, this is a workshop.
Yeah, but even still, this is about the southern end of the lake, and I think as full councillors we should be down there.
I'd be suggesting if you're going to do that, then you should hold your council meeting down there as well. Otherwise, otherwise the logistics do become a bit complicated.
Because this is in the AM, and you've got a council meeting in the PM, so it could be your first chance to be down there and have the council meeting in the afternoon in Turangi. Just as an aside, that's what I was going to ask. So what happens to webcam? We're webcamless. Councillor Dano?
Yeah, I'd like it actually set in stone that we do 2 full council meetings in Mangakino and 2 in Turangi every year for the next 3 years. And as Councillor Truman said, if she wants to make it a full day, one of those times down there, we can make it a full day and get to know. I'd like that actually, if it's possible, to be set in rather than just the odd 1 or 2 sent down there. So every quarterly, it's 1 in Turangi and 1 in Mangakino.
Does it need to be 2 and 2 or 1 and 2?
I just like. Well, we're having.
12, or we may be having more. We don't know.
Yeah, if we're having 12 a year, then 2 of them are down there and 2 of them there, and the other 8 are here.
Well, we may be having more because we won't
Well,
have
if
a lot
we
of
have more,
subcommittees. So.
Want to welcome the move to hold council meetings down there and in Mangakino. I think it's a great idea. It's a question of like where we're going to get the best traction in terms of the public being involved and feeling like they're being reached out to. In a council meeting, although some people will come to it, if there's a workshop which has a degree of public participation or other things, they're more likely to get involved in it. Whereas a council meeting is a symbolic thing to do, and I support it. I think it's worth considering what the nature of the business is that's being conducted or what's trying to be done at the time, as to whether it's a council meeting, workshops, etc.
Yeah, I feel as though that now we've got TKMPs no more, and hopefully all of us are going for more of as representation as a full council over the whole of the Taupo District. That whether it's anything to do with people coming here and sitting here. I mean, I've been in lots of meetings here where no one turns up to here, but I think it's still proactive as a full council to spend 2 meetings a year. That's all we're talking about in each of those small pockets of our community that never ever see us otherwise.
But I think the point, I'll come to you, Keith. Yeah, I think the point that Rob's trying to make, Mike and I would adhere to the council meeting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but if you're having one in Turangi, use the morning to workshop. So spend a day in there. In the afternoon, have your council meeting and ratify things. But in the morning, have a full-on, a lot of input and a lot of involvement workshop about whatever the issues are. So
one of those days could be used as Councillor Truman said, is not actually being in there. It's getting around the district and visiting the health centre or the library or whatever, those facilities, and getting out there meeting the people as well. Not waiting on them to come into the chambers or the council offices down there.
This is one of our big moves this year, is to unite the whole district. Isn't this a good indication to give to the public? This is exactly what we're doing, Mayor Wick, and if we can work out the logistics. Is the webcam that important that we have to stay here? I mean, I know it's something that you've strove for a long time, but is it that important?
Oh, it pales into insignificance when you're trying to bond the whole district together as a unified family. It pales into insignificance. Yeah. It was just a point I brought up, that we wouldn't have it in that instance, but I'm all for shifting the meetings around here. Meetings do not have to be under the Local Government Act or any other act for that matter held in this chamber. They can be held wherever we decide to hold them. And getting out and around the community, we've just simply got to stop getting this feeling that people think that we don't care about them or we're separate, and it's called parochial. That's why we all know that next year sometime we're heading on a rating based workshop inquiry, and to see if we can do that better. So everything in life can always be done better. So that's what we're just sort of discussing here. But I think if we're going to go to the trouble of going to Turangi to have a council meeting which starts maybe at 1 in the afternoon, then we should all be there at 9 o'clock in the morning and have a workshop till at least midday. So we can get down at the coalface, so to speak. So yeah, Chris.
Just one question: is it logistically possible to do that on the 23rd?
Question is that possible on the 23rd? Well, we're having an SPO, which is another council meeting now on Tuesday afternoon, which could have some things on the agenda, including what we workshop in the morning. Question is it possible this November to do
both of them in Turangi?
Well, Turangi has already got the southern. This is all possible. What we're talking about here, if you look at the purple and the yellow, the purple with blue in the morning is a council workshop about the Lakeshore structure plan down here, and then in the afternoon's a council meeting. The issue that's here on the table at the moment is, do we go to Turangi and do that workshop and continue on with the council meeting, or do it up here? That's the issue that we have to stay focused to. So logistically, can we go down there, Ms. McLeod? Yes. We can? Would you as a council like to go down there and do it? Because I think we should, because it's their structure. Well, it's our structure plan based down there. Okay, that's what we'll be doing. Thank you very much.